All right, so we're here with Kun Tochathorn Somjaivong. Tam,
Hi, good
nickname
morning.
Tam. Great to
Yeah,
have you here.
thank you for inviting me to try this, Andrew.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
my pleasure. The objective here is to kind of help a young person who's building a career in finance to think about what path should they take and what lessons can they learn from people like yourself and others. So maybe we can just start off by if you can introduce yourself and explain what your responsibilities are in your current job.
All right. Okay. Basically, what I'm doing now is helping my clients to achieve their goals by supporting them in managing their financial resource, and so they can live the life that they want. So basically, helping them with the integrated financial planning plan. Yeah.
That's
So
awesome.
yes, also is starting from helping them clarifying their goals, and then like developing the financial planning to support that. So that's the first part. And the second part would be I'm also helping the organizations in designing the program, or to be more specific, like the financial wellness program that taking care of their employees, basically to enable them to take control of their financial life, because obviously that's really important for the success of the business. If your employees are happy and being like healthy financially, they can be like they can be more productive and also raise worried and contributing to the organization at their best.
Mm,
So, and by doing that, so it's related to providing like financial education sessions, and also supporting them in specific initiative relating to their benefit program, compensation program design, things like that. Yeah, so
got
so
it.
that's the main two part. And I'm also being an author, writing a few books on financial personal finance, like about relating retirement planning, and also like financial literacy for kids. Yeah, so
Mm.
basically what I'm doing.
That's pretty exciting. I'd say you're a busy guy. I'm lucky that we've got a chance to talk.
Uh, Thank you.
And I noticed you have three letters after your name. Can you explain what that is and why you got those?
All right. Okay, so this CFP is stand for Certified Financial Planner. Is the professional designation, that the qualification relating to, perhaps that it, we can compare with that like the CFA, like what you've got.
Mm,
That's on the investment financial management, but that would be more towards the corporate side, investment, things like that. Whereas CFP will be the designation specifically for financial planning and mainly related to like personal finance.
got it.
So yeah, so
Got
that's
it.
one of the uh, the global recognized standard for this professional as well.
Definitely. And I think one of the things is for the listeners out there that are listening or watching, if you're interested in helping people to build their wealth, protect their wealth, grow their wealth, set their plan, CFP is such a great focus program that really trains you exactly on how to do that. So maybe this follows into the next question, which is, can you explain your career path to get to this point?
Okay, yeah, it's quite a while ago as well, actually, because actually I started my career by working as an engineer. I I don't have any financial background at all, so just graduated from the university, completed my master degree on operation management. It's basically about like engineering management, things like that. So I started as a production and process engineer and working in the manufacturing sites, which mainly helping with the firefighting issues on the production line, things like that. But at that time, I had a chance to be involved in the people development project. of the firm. So I became interested in to know more on the human side or the soft side of the business, because I think that is one of the most important aspects for the business success. So I decided to change my career to HR consulting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So when I say HR consulting, yeah, as you can imagine, is mainly about working with clients on various industries. I mean, really, the nature of work will be really varies and quite challenging. Most of the projects, most of the assignments will be project based. So it depends on what clients need, just confirming the project scope with them, and then delivering the project works as we agreed. And the area of my responsibility is almost all aspect of human resource. So I think it's easier to name what I didn't do. So I didn't do the head hunting. I didn't help with the resourcing. But apart from that, advising on the recruitment and selection process, leadership development, compensation and benefit design, rewarding your employees, and also how to develop the employees. Also, touch on the merger and acquisition type of work as well, where during doing the due diligence, need to concern on the people aspect as well. So basically, all those areas. And also, yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay, and also one of the area that moved me closer to finance is I also got a chance to do supporting in doing the actual evaluation, which is assessing the company's liabilities related to the long-term employee benefit. So that's why that it made me really want to know more and explore on this area, because it's really giving impact to the organization. I mean, right. Not financially, but also it's on the people side as well. So because the cost to the organization on this will be really huge, and it's really affect like the business performance. Yeah. And also I also learned the importance of retirement planning, how to save your money, things like that, while doing those kind of assignment, and through working with some of the clients in the asset management companies at that time as well. So that's why I became like interested to know more on the financial planning, and especially related to the personal finance, where because it's personally I think it's related to the HR people side. My experience earlier, so that's why I decided to get into this area, and yeah, decided to get myself certified with the CFP designation, like we discussed.
And so what's interesting is the next question is going to be about, how did you gather practical knowledge rather than theoretical or book knowledge? And the reason why this question is such a good question for you is because you devoted your education years to getting theoretical and book knowledge in the area of, engineering and other stuff, not in the area of finance. I studied, let's say, finance, and I got a lot of book knowledge there. But you had to somehow gather practical knowledge quickly. So how did you do that?
Okay, I think that there's a few actions that I did. So I actually, when we mention about practical knowledge, I personally believe that it will be get through the learning by doing. So just getting your hands dirty on what you have learned, it will not be, you cannot imagine, or you cannot learn from the theory what will happen if we really do it, or in the process of try to make that particularly theory work in practice. So just get involved and trying to do and learn from that, especially learn from the failure as well, because already success we can all like celebrate that, but what we can learn more is from the failure or the things that don't work. So that's the first one. And also I like try to learn from the one who already like really got a real experience on that. So by saying that, I mean, yeah, get yourself exposed to the network or the people, not only in your professional field, but also other field as well, and talk to them.
And one of the ways that you did that was getting involved with the asset management companies that were helping the company handle the HR issues related to investing in finance and liabilities, I guess.
Yeah, actually, for the asset management companies is on the other projects where I deliver the HR project works.
Right.
But
Okay.
but for the actually evaluation itself, yeah, that's for client in various industry as well. But I mean, but when I mentioned about asset management company is that because every part of the project we need to have like executive interview, so we can get their views, their comments or suggestions from the top management before we come up with the HR solution. So and by that, I also like had a chance to discuss in terms of the importance of things like this one, like personal management, financial management, retirement planning, things like that, because
Right.
it's their mission to do as well.
Got it.
So yeah, it's like a byproduct that made me absorb that knowledge and the importance of these gradually towards my career.
Okay. I have a question specifically because you are, not a finance background. You said engineering.
Yes, engineering.
What type of engineering?
I did chemical engineering and for my bachelor degree and industrial engineer in my master.
Okay. Yeah. So let's just think about engineering for a moment, or think about science. If you're in school and you study, let's say, the theory of gravity, right, or the law of gravity, then you can use that law to make certain calculations, such as if you wanted to build a little structure at your university, you could understand maybe the distance that the walls, that the pillars supporting the ceiling could be from each other, which is a function of the weight on the top of the structure. And there's a formula for that, and there's a logical way to solve that. And if you then work that out in the classroom, and you say, we're going to put a heavy weight on top of this, and we want to kind of we don't want to go wider than we have to, but we don't want to go, narrower than we have to. We got it right at the perfect spot. We can kind of calculate that enough. And then when we go out to actually put it into action, we're going to find that it's going to work pretty well. There may be little changes, but really the law of gravity doesn't change. Now, that's different from when I study finance. When I study finance, we learned about the capital asset pricing model as an example. And when I learned about the capital asset pricing model, it gave me all the same structures and the formula. But when I went out to apply it in the real world, it didn't work at all.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah.
So the way I explain this in my book, 9 Valuation Mistakes and How to Avoid Them, and the way I explain this to students is that you have to understand that the world of finance is not science. In fact, we have models and theories. We don't have laws. The law of gravity is a law because it's repeatable, but we don't have any laws in the area of finance. We have modern portfolio theory. We have asset pricing model. We have these types of things. So therefore, taking theory and bringing it into the real world, sometimes that doesn't even help you, that the theory, because it doesn't apply consistently. I'm just curious, like, what are your observations as someone who came from a more of a structured science background, and then you started to learn about the financial world? What was different for you?
Well, I think that the example that you just mentioned, I totally agree. And what I found from my experience right now, that like give you an example, like um, coming up with the financial plan. We know, we have been taught, we have been learned on the approach, the step that we take from that. That we need to work on that. So even though we have all the information gathering from clients, like their status, their requirement, their concerns, their background experience, such things like that. But at the end, it's still related to how you really use the thing that's really not the hard skill, but like the soft skill, the soft side, or what we learn or what we face at that point in front of the client, and to convince them, to advise them, or perhaps like we need to alter or change the way we work a little bit to be best suited with their needs or their requirement. Just not the bit for the benefit of us, but to benefit of them, like the clients too.
And maybe some clients also expect that the world of finance should be more like science. And you told me that it's going to go up by 10%, or you told me that when in fact it's a much more ever-changing environment. So I guess what you're talking about is something that's important, which is kind of shaping the communication, shaping the expectation with the client, and making sure that you're using words and language that they can understand.
Yeah, correct. But basically, I think it's about putting yourself in someone other's shoes, and trying to view from their aspect, from their standpoint, so we can like better serve them.
So let's talk briefly about the advice that you give for a young person. And before you answer that, yours and my career paths are both in finance, but we went different ways. Let's say my career path was as a sell-side analyst, which meant that I was looking at stocks that were trading in the stock market and recommending those to fund managers. I didn't have that much interaction with individual clients. I was taking care of institutional clients. And whereas, you're definitely much more along the track of having to understand individual clients and the needs of the individual. And I'm just curious, like for the listeners here who are listening and watching, let's imagine that they want to build a career just like you've built. What advice would you give them?
Okay. Yeah, there are a few things actually. I think especially for young person, I mean, I would emphasize that continuous development or continuous learning is really important. I mean, I suggest that you set up a goal for yourself, like what you want to be good at, what you really want to be like excellent at it, and working towards your goals on that. And sometimes we may, I think that there's no need to compare yourself with others, maybe like those graduated from the same university, same time as you, and like, because everyone has their own path to the success. And the thing that's really important is you comparing against yourself. For example, like having a goal, like you want to become a better you, and in what areas, and it's more important to aiming for moving towards your own goals as times go by. For example, from year on year, you have achieved those such things that you planned earlier, things like that. So,
right.
So at least like keep moving and beating yourself, trying to beating yourself. That would be the first one. And also, I think that the other one, this is really critical for especially those who may not have the financial background like me as well.
Yep.
That's for try to expanding your network. I mean, trying to getting to know more new people, especially if you want to changing your career into different field, getting to know those, trying to join an event or the seminar or any public events where those people are present, and then don't be shy to go to them and like introduce yourself and like talk to them, asking for their advice. You will be surprised that especially those successful success in their career, they're really willing to support and to help, give their advice, and that will be you can learn you can learn a lot from that, and also who knows that will lead to any like the business opportunities that we see in the future as well.
Absolutely. That's great advice. And I was looking at your LinkedIn and I can see that, you know, you're engaged and you're putting up stuff and you're involved and you've got a good, you know, LinkedIn profile. And I think that also, you know, brings credibility to you as you continue to expand your network. So that's cool. Now, last question is, do you have any daily habits that you do that help you to be successful?
Okay. Maybe daily habits and like my routine that I try to do as well. I try to do it regularly. First one is of course like exercise, and now like enjoy running, because you know it's important to keep yourself fit, and so that will be ready to the hard work. And other things is that I also try to doing the blood donation regularly as well. Okay, I think this one of the things that's really useful, because not only you can contributing or help others, but by doing that, by determined to do that regularly, it's also let you like take a good care of yourself as well. You need to like eat healthy food. You need to ensure that you have enough sleep before you can do like the donation. So it's like doing one thing, but you've got
other
lots
benefits.
of things back. Yeah.
That's good. That's interesting. All right. And as we wrap up, do you have any final words or parting words for the listeners?
Well, okay. I think that you may heard from various sources or many people saying that right now there may be lots of uncertainty, especially at the present time, not only on your career but also on our life as well. But I would suggest that every uncertainty or crisis, there also an opportunity. So what we can do is like prepare and trying to prepare our best to be ready when any opportunity arise, so you can ready and fully utilize, get the most benefit from those opportunities. Yeah, I think
that's great advice. I mean, there's two parts to that. You know, the first part that you said is be prepared to take the benefit. But there's another part of that too, which is the idea of be open to realize that a crisis is actually an opportunity in disguise.
Yeah.
And a great example of this that I often use is one of the hospitals here in Thailand, Bumrungrad Hospital. And they had just, before the 1997 crisis, they had just borrowed a lot of US dollars to build their new inpatient building, which would have more than 500 beds. And that building went online just before the 1997 crisis. And then when the crisis hit, it was a disaster. Nobody in Thailand could afford to go to a premium hospital. So all of a sudden, the crisis hit the hospital significantly. But it forced the management team to think of other sources of income and revenue. And that's when they realized, well, the baht has, fallen quite a bit. The currency has gotten weaker, and therefore medical care in Thailand is cheaper, and we've got good facility now that we've just built this. Why don't we try to market outside of Thailand? And now 40% of their customers come from foreign, visitors, and maybe 60% of their revenue come from that. And many people look at it today and think, wow, that was really smart, strategy and all that. No, it was a crisis that forced new thinking and built what is now a very successful and profitable business. So ladies and gentlemen listening, I think that you're getting some great advice here. And that is, number one, plan for crisis. It's going to come. But more importantly, see crisis as the opportunity that it can be and that it is. Beautiful. Fantastic. All right. Well, I want to thank you for sharing all that with us.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
And if people want to get in touch with you, I see clearly LinkedIn is one place where you're active. Maybe that's probably one of the best places for people to reach out.
Yeah. That's
fantastic.
Right. Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.